Why is this not showing up? There we go. All right, so I already got you in the Yerman Mercedes new third White Sox third baseman club.
All right, you're gonna tweet it out.
Tweet it.
All right, let me retweet it. All right.
Oh, by the way, heads up, we're going to be moving to a new platform next week because the subscription to SoundCloud ends on Sunday.
If you want, I get Chris to renew it. Anyway. All right.
I think Anchor's free, I think. So.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, July 10th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Zawoski, a.k.a. Father Zoe, a.k.a. Yerman Mercedes Stan. And with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
So, believe it or not, and hopefully we get there, 2 weeks away from opening day.
2 weeks.
The last time we were 2 weeks
Knock
away.
on wood.
The last time we were 2 weeks away, something very bad.
Mm-hmm. And that psychopath in the other box is the Reverend Kevin Fidds, sporting the very nice Pinwheels and Ivy mask. Wear your mask, assholes. And also, just to be clear, his hat says "Make red hats wearable" again.
Yeah, let's make sure we're clear on that one.
We're very clear on that.
Hit me. And yeah, I'm excited about getting my cardboard cutout of me and Wilford Brimley placed somewhere at Wrigley Field, even if it's not really possible. I'm gonna.
Are the Cubs doing that?
No, I'm gonna literally try and see if I can get someone to sneak me in.
Oh.
Sneak a Wilford. Maybe put me in the snack bar by the
you would think the team's owner who like tries to get money from every single little thing would charge fans like $100 to have cardboard cutouts, but nope, not the Cubs.
Nope.
But we are going to pay $250 a pop for rooftops.
We're going to talk schedule. We're going to talk about scrimmages because those are always fun, and just everything else that's been going on in Major League Baseball. Like everything, it's just completely unorthodox. It's pretty free-form show today. Maybe get a little predictions. Yeah, we'll see where the wind takes us. So, yeah, let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you're downloading the app, turning on push notifications. It's a crazy time out there right now, and you want to know when stuff happens. So turn on those push notifications. You'll know when anything important happens right away to your phone. SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. So, where do you guys want to start? Schedules or scrimmages?
What's got you going today? Let's start. Let's start with something positive. What
scrimmage schedules?
What caught your eye? What's caught your eye so far? Like we're a week into summer camp, 2 weeks away from opening day. No yo-yo, no Kopech, but things are happening for the Sox.
Yes,
Carlos Rodon
today. Your first parrot walk.
Favorite pitcher is in the rotation right now.
Yeah, so I think without saying it because of HIPAA stuff, I think we've all the Twitter sleuths out there have pretty much pinpointed that Yo-Yo's one of the two with the COVID. Kopech's a little different. It's weird. Like,
if I'm not saying he is, because I don't think he is, because the way they worded it, and they were very specific, and the very first day that Han talked about it, he said he's healthy. So, and like he specifically said personal reasons, but if they just like found a way to work around all the speculation by just saying personal reasons, like hats off to Rick.
Well,
because we're guessing, like we know for sure Yo-Yo's one, but like who's the other one?
And we know for sure that like Kopech, he's made it very public, and he's actually done a lot of really good work.
His sign off from social media, that was
right, and
a very heartfelt message.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of great things in the community, and he's been very outspoken about his battles with and how he's overcome certain mental issues. If I'm trying to be, as correct as possible, something that I
just
really,
like mental health.
Something that I really appreciate. Something that I deal with. So much so that when I saw him and his wife at Sox Fest, I went up to him and he's like, "Hey man, you want a picture? You want an interview?" I said, "No, thank you. I just want to tell you, I really appreciate what you've been doing." And I could tell that kind of struck a chord with him, and we shook hands, and it was a cool moment for me, something I won't forget. And that's one of the reasons why I root for the guy as much as I do, is because of that. And so I think for the most part, minus a couple fucking assholes, people have really respected his privacy when it comes to that. And, Michael will get back when he gets back. The more on the field stuff, though, like you mentioned, dude, I'm kind of pumped. Like, all right, so for people that don't know, and although because me and you have been talking about this guy for a while.
I'm still mad we didn't get to do that bet last September for the
Right.
5 home run game. You were going to get his tattoo.
Yep.
I know Kevin was.
I was going to get the tattoo. But Carlos Rodon, so at first I liked him, and then I wanted to trade him, and everybody jumped down my throat for wanting to trade him. And then this is a couple years ago.
Yeah, this was like when he was like still like pre-injuries, like on the rise.
And then all the injuries happened. But he came back, and he's been throwing pretty damn good in this start of this. What do we call it? What do you guys want to call it? Summer camp?
Summer camp.
Summer camp. So in this summer camp, he's been looking pretty good. And something else that I really appreciate is he's put on a little extra dad cushion in the midsection, and he looks thick.
Dad beat.
Yeah, he looks thick, looks ready to go. But by all accounts from teammates and beat writers and everyone there, he's looking really good, which is cool. But we've heard that before with him. And then 70 games in, he has blood in his muscles. I mean, that's literally what happened. Am I wrong? Like, that's what I was like. And the staff didn't pick. I don't know. That didn't look good for the Sox training staff. That they're like, he literally has blood in the muscles. Yeah. And he like pitched through it. But I don't know. Trust me, man. If it's going to make the White Sox better, I'll always root for it. I still think they should have traded him before all the injuries and got something for him. But he's here, and it's awesome. And if he, according to Fagan, he's like the third man in the rotation.
Yeah, I mean that has to be like the greatest thing ever, because guys get Tommy John now, and they recover faster than ever, and they come back stronger than ever before. But that's not always a guarantee. You don't know how guys are going to come back. I mean, we saw Kopech missed like all of last year, and he was still going to be like maybe like a month off for this year before the shutdown. But like Rodon, he's worked himself back, and it's not like, he's like maybe going to be an option. Right now, the Sox are viewing him as, hey, like we're probably going to count on this guy from the start. So, I mean, that has to be great, because like, what is it? So the season's going to start in July. I think that was like the best case scenario that Sox fans, like in a regular 2020 season, I think this is the best scenario that Sox fans were hoping for. It's like, hey, maybe he comes back like by the end of July, maybe August, last couple months. And now like the shutdown and the abbreviated season, he's going to be part of the rotation. Now it looks like, because we don't know like the other moving pieces with Kopech, Gonzalez, who he did have like a setback in spring training back in like March. So he's still like, and he was like still shut down for a little bit. So he's like a little behind the rest of the starters. So right now he's on the outside looking in, because Rodon's like come back and he's shown that he's healthy.
Yes, and with pitching, especially in this weird 60-game sprint, options are good. Options are your friend right now. And yeah, and we've talked about it on the show before, though, like how this delayed start to the season, sure, we'll call it that, actually benefits the White Sox because of the timeline with Rodon and Kopech. And then I was reading something interesting, how Luis Robert was saying how he thinks this is awesome because he gets to practice in the major league field for a couple weeks before he actually has to be a major leaguer. And he's like, guys don't normally get to do this. And I'm getting accustomed to the city, the facilities, just basically the center field. He's learning bounces and, stuff like that. And he's like, this is stuff guys don't normally get to do. And I think it's pretty cool that I get to do it. And I guess I never really thought of that, but I think that's a pretty interesting point. And I guess the only other real thing out of Sox camp besides E5 giving us the first parrot of the season would be with Yo-Yo being sidelined for mysterious Rona reasons. We're seeing some interesting people at third base. Notably, last year's draft pick and arguably one of the Sox top prospects, Andrew Vaughn, who everyone just chalked up as a first baseman, he was getting reps at third and actually kind of looked pretty good. It's practice. Everybody pump the brakes. But I'm kind of on a train of thought now because there's no minor league season. I want him getting some ABs. Maybe he gives Yo-Yo a day off. Maybe Yo-Yo doesn't come back to start the season.
I don't want to put words into your mouth, but I think you're thinking maybe trade Yo-Yo.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, Kevin, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a good thing with, like, again, you guys know I have a total man crush on Vaughn, and when you see a guy like that, again, we're talking about a different, like the athletes of this age, these guys play a lot, and they dabble in little spots, like again, you get a guy like a Zobrist. These are really valuable guys, and that's what makes, now if you've seen the Chris Bryant MLB The Show card, you see that he could play like 6 positions on there, right? You get a lot of, when you have a player that can do that, it really gives your manager, Ricky Renteria, have a really good option to give Moncada a day off and not feel like he's going to lose too much at third. And when you see a guy like Vaughn go over there, who obviously rakes, who can DH, play first, you're seeing someone that actually has a versatility that's maybe not what you bargained for at first, but someone that took the offseason and said, look, we're going to have a weird, maybe I want to make myself extra valuable, so I'm going to learn another position. And he just, I'm not sure what his high school and his early collegiate path was, if he played it before and was just shifted over.
I really think he has.
He's a big dude, so they probably said you're too tall for third, get over to first. But to have a guy that can actually do that just gives, Moncada can take a DH day, and you can get a little bit less of the wear and tear. You let the guy have a little bit more of a mental break and just do half the job. That's really big for these guys, and that's a big part about the. You guys have the DH all the time, but it's the National League too. You're gonna have guys that can actually be mentally rested because they can do a half job sometimes. And I know the DH isn't, you don't want to call it a half job, but really it is. It's a half job. You don't have to worry about you get them in, you can go down in the tunnel and figure your shit out. If you had a BAB at bat and you have 8 dudes in front of you before it's your turn to actually have to do something again. And so you have an opportunity to make adjustments better than everybody else. So, but just having a guy that can go to third gives Moncada a day to maybe just kind of get his ship right.
If he played anywhere besides first base, it was before college, because on his baseball reference page,
probably pitcher or first baseman in college.
Yeah, first base all the way down. I mean, he doesn't have a great glove. I think he's got like a 45 or 50 on the 80 scale glove. I mean, more than enough for a first baseman, but I don't know. Like I said, I want the kid to get swings. I don't want him to just, I mean, it's cool if I know the taxi squad thing's happening and all that shit, but I don't know. I think they can work him in.
Let's see. Let's start with predictions. Let's start with predictions on over under. How many games does he play for the Sox this year?
Does play mean pitch hit or he's in the starting lineup?
Appearances or starts?
Appearances. So just he can be a pinch hitter or I don't know why they would waste him as a pinch hitter.
Right. Well, if he's on the bench and whatever.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Just games that he appears in.
Major league games, not taxi squad bullshit.
Major league. So let's set there's 60 games.
I told you under
5.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5.
Over under.
I'll take the over.
You'll generally have a good idea of if these guys are gonna, the taxi squad. You'll know who's in the house that day.
Right.
too.
That's
so
right,
if
because they have
switches,
to have the 3 guys, and you can't change them.
right?
Or
So
or you have to consistently change them. I forget what it is.
it's like I think it's like isn't it like a rotate? Almost like you have to like almost like declare.
It's like on a different road trip. You have to have something. It's
yeah.
This season's gonna be fucking weird.
I don't know. I'll go
and
over on 5.5. I'll go over.
This makes strategy so much more intriguing
right?
for this 60 games. Not just with the game itself, not with just how you like handle, some of the like in-game strategies, but like how you handle your front office business too. Like how these guys will now use, whether it's coming from Schaumburg or South Bend. How are you going to transport? You're going to filter these guys in and out. How do you choose who needs down to? So it's going to be a lot of input between Rossi or Ricky and then the front office, and that intrigues me because how you create your roster, being able to kind of filter things like that makes it's kind of a little bit more fantasy sports kind of style too.
Right.
You're like, who?
And especially for a team like the White Sox that's so young and full of guys that are like Andrew Vaughn and Nick Madrigal and Yerman Mercedes and fucking Collins, douchebag. And
I didn't say that.
I did, because he called Nick Madrigal out on a questionable strike 3 in the scrimmage. And now,
was that the strikeout looking?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Collins on my shit list now. But you got so many guys like that, though. But it is going to be interesting to see who's on the bench for these games.
Zach Collins and Joe West.
Who's going to Schaumburg? But yeah, I'll take the over on 5.5. And the other person playing third though was Yerman Mercedes.
Your boy.
Yeah, and he's looking fit.
No, I remember when you shared that picture, or when that picture went around like a month ago, when he just like looks fucking like the Incredible Hulk.
He's jacked. Yeah, jacked. And Luis Robert hit a shot to the hot corner. It was a little bit between third base and short, and Yerman got over there and got it. I think it was a little exaggerated by the big man, but it was still a pretty good catch. So much so that
you have to show off for like the one camera.
Him and Robert are boys too, and so they met at the pitcher's mound because it was the last out of the inning, and they jawed a little bit back at each other, and they both been tweeting about it and Instagramming about it since it happened. But that's the shit I love to see. So before we switch over to the Cubs, the last thing about the Sox that I've seen is how loose these guys are and how much fun the White Sox are having. And like they had Tim Anderson playing reporter today and just like joking around. And then there's this one camera view. I think it's either the White Sox or MLB tweeted it, and the camera's focused on the cage and someone's hitting in the cage. And then all of a sudden Eloy Jimenez's face just comes up from the bottom of the shot. And he just kind of stared like, I don't know. They're playing music. They're having fun. They look real loose. Everyone's saying the right things. And it's just a good vibe coming off this team. And someone made a good point because a story out of Arizona camp today was when they started their inter-squad scrimmage, Madison Bumgarner went up to the mound and yelled at the guys in the press box to shut up and turn the music off so they can start.
Mid-season form.
And in the offseason, the Sox were one of the teams thinking about it. Just seeing how this team is clicking right now and hearing that story, that's all I needed. He doesn't fit on this team whatsoever. He would fucking hate himself on this team.
Grandpa in the clubhouse.
I mean, this team they're dancing in the dugout. They're having a good time. Like,
hey, I mean, all I say is, as long as you win, they'll bite their tongue. Because John Lackey was on the Cubs for 2 years.
That's true.
The Cubs were fucking like pimp walking every home run that they had, except for Chris Brown.
That's why I mean, obviously, I always hope the White Sox win, but I really hope this Sox team wins, just because they have a vibe. They got like a great chemistry and energy where if they can combine all that with winning, this team could be something special for a long time because of their age. So.
And prep yourself for it too. The beauty of a young team that has some veteran leadership is you're gonna see some young kids fail a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're gonna fuck up. They're gonna make stupids, and you're gonna have the veterans come in there and build them up after they mess up and explain to them their issues. You're gonna see that kind of too. You're gonna get frustrated a few times still. Mm-hmm. There'll be fewer because you have the vets, but you're gonna have a good. When you have a young team, that energy is just so. It can carry you and it's not a long season. So it's like having a kid eating pixie sticks caged up in a freaking classroom for 8 hours, and you just open the cage and turn them loose, and these guys are going to be pixie sticked up. They're ready to go, and it's going to have that extra bit of energy too. So you're going to see it. I think even you can see some of the energy even with the empty ballparks, which is kind of interesting to me. Sure. I think it's fun to see them out there having a good time. It's even better to hear the sound of that. I hope they crank up the audio, turn off the stupid crowd music. I want to hear. Not only I want to hear the chatter, but I want to hear that sound.
That was cool today when Edwin hit the home run. You hit the beautiful crack of the bat, and then as he's rounding the bases, he's just running normal. You can hear like 8 guys yell, "Do the parrot! Do the parrot!" And he puts his arm up, and everyone starts cheering and going crazy. That's fun, dude. Now
take that and put that into a hot, like contested divisional battle in August. And hearing the shit that's going to come out of the other dugout's mouth too.
Oh yeah.
Like, can you? I mean, we're going to get a very, very, very intimate look at really what's said.
That's awesome. I just
when you pump out that crowd.
Yeah, a whole scenario just played out in my head. Right, but I could just picture Edwin hitting a 2-run shot in the 7th versus the Twins to put the Sox up 1, and he's rounding second, and like Eloy's sitting there just because he's a big goofball going, "Do the parrot!" Like he's screaming at him, and he does the parrot, and someone from the Twins dugout goes, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I'm here for it.
Awesome. I am here for that 100%.
That's it. To me, the crowd noise is stupid. Stop.
Technically, with the White Sox, so unfortunately, I probably won't understand half of it. I gotta learn Spanish. I gotta fucking learn Spanish.
You'll learn plenty. This is actually your a Rosetta Stone baseball season. You're going to learn plenty of new cuss words in Spanish if you listen closely.
I 100% would, because it's awesome. Because this team's going to be a lot of fun. I'm riding a wave of optimism. I'm a little buzzed up right now too, but I'm riding a wave of optimism right now, and I'm feeling good about it. So just let me feel good about it. So North Side, all right. So the Cubs. First thing was Brandon Moreau. He gone.
Sad.
I know. I saw a lot of Cubs fans very, very, very sad about that move.
Like it's weird. Like you can be mad, but like for like guys aren't out here trying to get hurt on purpose. No. Like shit happen. Like that guy, and like that guy, he's had like injuries since he started pitching. Like his entire career. We knew when the Cubs signed him, it was going to be a huge health risk, and guess what? The Cubs lost on that one. Mm-hmm. It sucks. Theo missed bad on that one.
And the hard part
more in the future.
On that hard part too is like you hear people slander the poor guy. I mean, the guy took basically here's a sack of sunflower seeds. Come play for us again and give it another shot, because he does. I mean, no athlete wants to not compete, and so like the slander. It's again, there's some hate for. I've seen some mean stuff about him too, and they get jokes saying, "Oh yeah, hey, when the Cubs released him, they pulled their shoulder releasing him too because he's banged up or whatever." But the fact is, the guy tried, and you can't fault someone's body for breaking down. Like unless he was out there, 24/7 out on Rush Street partying it up, which he wasn't. People, it's just bad luck, and the poor guy. Like you want to more so now when you look at as a human. Where does that guy go from here? Like his career's in jeopardy. Everything that he loves, is he gonna hang it up? Is he still gonna keep holding on to that water wagon a little bit longer? Is he gonna push? And so you feel bad for a guy that he's shown class. He's never said a negative thing in this whole process, and he's tried to say the right things, and it just didn't work. And you let the guy, you wish the guy well, but it's just one of those. Dang it, it didn't work.
Yeah,
and you wish him best.
Didn't work out, and then the definitely not overused joke on Twitter right now is that Kimbrel's in midseason form after he gave up a solid bomb.
You know what though? I'm glad. I don't care for the jokes. It's fine. But at least now we know for sure. Mm-hmm. And maybe
what do we know for sure? What do we know now for sure?
This is what we know for sure about Craig Kimbrel. The Cubs aren't going to have the pitcher that they thought they were going to have when they signed him.
Okay.
He is. The big news, like for him this week, was that he's throwing in a changeup now. What is that? Why does a guy who's like been throwing like 97 to 99 all of a sudden need to throw a changeup? Because he's not missing bats with that fastball anymore. Because he can't throw that hard anymore.
Got to change gears now.
Yep,
So,
got that on the nose.
So he's going to be a guy who he's 32. He's going to have to reinvent himself. Hopefully, this isn't to say like, oh, he sucks now. He can only throw 95, 96. He's going to be garbage. If he can work in that changeup, if he makes that an effective second pitch,
yeah,
all the power to him. He can still be a great closer, but for fans, he's not the guy that we thought we were going to get. That sucks. But hopefully the changeup works. And the Cubs are desperately, again, 60-game season, no time to fuck around. You can't. The Cubs would have been in the playoffs last year if they had like a solid closer. They didn't. The same things this year. You can't be blowing saves. So hopefully it works out because that was it. And like I mean, Schwarber hit a home run today. Contreras hit another home run today. Like we're not like worried about like the pitchers there, but we see with Kimbrel, we saw like in spring training. And you just kind of tell, like, yeah, that high fastball, it's not getting past guys anymore. So that's kind of worrying.
Yeah.
I'm going to err to the side of optimism. I'm going to say that while Kimbrel might not be in midseason form, I'm going to say that Wilson Contreras is in postseason form. So he's just that far ahead of everybody. We're gonna say he's hit 2 homers in 2 days. So we're gonna go with Contreras is ready to rock and he's ready to be have an all-star caliber if there was an all-star game, which there's not, caliber season. And and he did. But the thing that I looked at what Kimbrel did that struggled with is it's not so much the home run. You don't mind, if it's a 1-run game, you're not a big fan of someone giving up a 1-run jack, but it's the loud single that he gave up to KB on the previous at bat with 2 outs. There were 2 outs, I believe, he got single KB, and then was it immediately following strikeout? Then so it's that letdown. He almost got through it, and you don't want to see guys that are giving up leadoff anythings, especially coming out of the bullpen, whether it's a walk or a single or a bunt or a duck fart or whatever. That's playing with fire every single time. So. And you mentioned the fact that he's had to learn a third pitch. When you see a reliever that's a closer learn a new pitch at this point in the game, there's something wrong. He's in his own head too. Well, I'll say this though. I don't want to say this because
he can't throw as hard as he used to before.
Chasen did it too though in the offseason. Chasen learned the slider to go along with his changeup and his splitter and his fastball, whatever. I mean, they did dibble dabble, around to try to figure out stuff, but. Maybe this is one of those things where like someone decides they're going to be a switch hitter one day, or like they wake up and I'm going to switch hit. Maybe I'm going to learn a changeup today because I'm bored. It's a quarantine. Maybe that's what this is. But if he's not missing barrels and he's giving up like high, velocity out of the, off the contact, oh boy. Yeah. No, might start looking at.
I'd rather Craig Kimbrel be like, hey, no, I just don't have it like I used to. I need to do this. Because, he even said it. He's like, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm going to keep looking at the numbers. I know that I need to be, but I can't just be serving up 96 up. And he allowed 9 home runs in 20 innings last year. Obviously, something's wrong. Maybe that short, like, ramp-up period. Last year was all weird for him. And then he had a couple injuries, too. But this year obviously isn't any more normal. But at least he's not being stubborn. At least he's not like, no, I'm just going to keep pumping that fastball in there. I'll get it back eventually.
Yeah.
I just hope it works. It's just not great.
That's the thing. All you can ask for is production. You don't care how he does it.
Right.
It's just do it. Anything else out of the Cubs camp? I haven't really seen too much stuff.
Well, the Cubs, they released the prices for rooftop tickets. They're $250, I think, a pop for regular weekdays, and then weekend games are $350.
No, it's not the Cubs. Not yet.
No, not the
other rooftops.
Oh, the other rooftops. Okay.
Because
I thought they owned them all, didn't
they? Yeah, they own like 11 out of I don't know how many.
Aldo, what do you think?
We talked about it. If you want, I'm never gonna bust anyone. Like I might make a couple jokes, but like if you want to go spend $350 to watch a game, you haven't been out, whatever, you just love Cubs baseball that much, go for it. Me, no. Hard pass. Not paying $300. I wouldn't pay $350 for a rooftop seat for like Game 7 of the World Series.
See, no. I'm stuck here in Vegas. Again, when you want to go to a Vegas Golden Knights game, you are paying at least $200 a ticket, period, for shit, nosebleeds, regardless.
That's a no for me too.
And so, at least for me, in my case, if I go to Chicago, my girlfriend's not a baseball fan, so I don't have to worry about it. It's just me with a backpack. If I have to go, I'll pay $350 to see some baseball and get you know, I mean, obviously I'm going to be a shit show on that roof. I'm going to really get my money's worth, but
Right.
I would pay that just to sit out there and
Have you guys ever been to the rooftop?
I have. I've been to a couple rooftop games.
Describe the experience, though, because I haven't. So I don't know. Maybe I'm talking like out of my ass, and it's a great.
It's not a great view.
It's dope. I mean, when I've gone, it's been corporate shit.
Like you're going there for a party. You're not going.
Yeah, it's always been corporate stuff when I went. So like everything's always taken care of. Like, so you go up, and then usually the floor right underneath the rooftop, there's like a bar and some tables with TVs, and that's where you get the buffet, which I'm gonna guess there's no buffet anymore. But the food, let's just say the food, and then there's the bar where you get your drinks, and then you go up the stairs and you're on the rooftop. And some of the rooftops have like a portable bar up there, so you don't have to keep going up and down. But and then they got the seats. I think the view is solid. It's like sitting in the 300 section on the south side. Like if you're way back there and up there, it's not bad. It's a cool thing to experience. And I think if someone like myself who's lived in Chicago their whole life, like you should do it once if you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I totally get what Kevin's saying. Like if you came to Chicago and you're a Cubs fan, like if you came from Vegas to Chicago, yeah, that might be worth it. Me, I'm not paying $350 to go do that. But I'm not a Cubs fan. So I'm kind of whatever, and I can't really compare it to anything for the White Sox. Like
no, well, like I mean,
what am I going to do? Sit on the Dan Ryan and?
Well, yeah, well, weren't the White Sox known before they kind of restructured the seating? Like they had like the really high nosebleeds.
Yeah, those were the worst, dude. I got dizzy up there, like legit dizzy. Like it was fucked. Yeah, I'm not actually one of the first games me and Mrs. O went to. Is we sat up there and we were right behind home plate. So I'm like, all right, this is going to be dope. And we got up there and I was just like, I'm like lightheaded. Like, holy smokes, I'm not doing this again. Which some people I know for a fact, some people love it up there. And hey man, to each their own, whatever floats your boat. So I don't know. I got a lot going on where it's going to take a lot for me at my current situation in life to go out to a public thing. So
we can get into that.
Yeah. We have baby
going to get
coming.
I think the state Illinois said like they can have 20% of the capacity.
Yeah, and
Mayor said not yet
in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, you have to guess eventually because if other places are allowing, because I mean, Illinois is like they're not like phase 4 of reopening everything.
Well, yeah, and you're seeing a lot of guys like my dude, My Sox Summer from the 108 and Wally Money. Shout out Wally. Wally cracks me up. They went to the Chicago Dogs game. They started their season. They have fans there. And they were tweeting about it. Looked like a great experience. Crowd was sparse. But they're not in Chicago, so they don't have to obey Lori. So they can have people there. And by all accounts, it sounded like it was still a good time. You got to watch live baseball. You know what I mean? Again, I got my first kid coming in a couple months. I'm not going out to public events. This season, I'm chalking it up. That's just me. Whatever. Say what you will. I'm going to wear a mask, and I'm not going to public events. But I get it, though, dude. Like, people have an itch that needs to be scratched, and that itch is kind of large right now. And if they can do it safely and that's a big word right now. Illinois just got back into the 4 figures in new cases today, which not the right direction. Yeah, it's just there's so many factors. It's so hard to like give a straight answer. You know what I mean? Everyone has a different personal situation. Everybody's got everything going.
For the listeners, by the way, Aldo is located in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I am located in Las Vegas. Nevada, like as you were saying that, Zoe, by the way, Nevada just went back to phase 1 and shut down all bars. Done.
Yeah.
Just now.
Yeah, you guys, the states you guys live in aren't exactly knocking it out of the park right now.
Exactly the blueprint of leadership.
Right.
Not the Southwest.
Good job, Illinois. Proud of you.
But I was going to say, I think for Illinois, like, because I mean, that's like one of the few states that actually has somewhat their shit together. And I mean, the way that the Sox not announced it, but like there was like that report before a couple weeks ago, and the Cubs tweeted like the next day. Like, I mean, they're definitely planning to like at some point maybe it's not going to be right away, but like maybe end of August or like by September. At some point, like I think that maybe it's going to be a little bag underneath Lori's door or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think they were like pretty set on like, yeah, no, like we're going to have fans eventually.
Yeah, it's Chicago, dude. Somebody will grease the right palm, and all of a sudden we'll have fans in the stands.
Yeah. Even like I think
we all know how that works.
Obviously, if you don't want to take any risk at all, which is fine, you don't have to. Like, it's fucking baseball. Like,
I'm gonna watch it on TV. I'm gonna watch it in my garage by myself with beer.
Fans,
is it?
Maybe you can't do that, but like I think it's gonna be a good maybe like a wait and see. Like, what are the protocols? Is it working smoothly? Like, are the fans who are going there, like, are the people like in charge of, enforcing the policies? Are they going to be strict about it? How serious are they going to take it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a lot of that. And hopefully we don't get like heads going. And it's like everything.
You know how like if you guys been to a Cubs or a Sox game in the last
maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I specifically went to a Cubs Sox game at Wrigley 2 years ago.
Okay, so you know when you walk in the game and you get the like fake pat down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you walk into the game this season, if they do let people in, you're gonna get like a fake. Yeah, you're good. Like a fake temperature scan. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be like, no fever, no fever, no fever, no fever, no. You know what I mean? But that shit costs money too. Getting those, those. And so like,
I do have to say though, if they do actually are serious about it, don't be an asshole and don't be like, you have no right. You have no right to do this to me. Just don't be that.
Well, guys, remember, I'm in Vegas, right? The casinos are doing that here for everybody. The casinos have put in the time to actually have people at every entrance taking everybody's temperatures. They're doing it for real. They actually have these things that actually I learned last week or 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. God dang, the summer's moving fast, by the way. 3 weeks ago, I went to, I think it was called Red Rock Station up near my house. And you stand in a place and there's not a gun, but it's like a little like station that actually takes your body temp. And you walk, you stand. It's just like, it's no different than like when you go to the airport. Right. You stand, it takes it. They give you your body temperature. They say yes. And if you have a higher body temperature, they move you off to the side and they do whatever I don't know what they do when they pull you away, but they could set that up at all these sporting events. It's not a huge complication.
No,
casino here, getting your temperature checked. It's the masks, it's the social distancing, it's the drinking that's going to make things really difficult.
So that does sound awesome, but you also have to remember casinos make money daily, like a lot of money, and the White Sox aren't going to pay for that. Like, there's no way that, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here saying thermometers cost money, and that's something that they'd actually say.
So Jerry needs any money to fire Jim Boylan. Remember that.
It's true.
Have you seen that thing float? The only reason that they haven't fired Jim Boylan is because they don't want to pay him because they're not going to make as much money with the Sox.
Basically.
Which is not that far off from real.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario that we can hope for, especially, actually both teams, because the Ricketts aren't exactly tossing out cash either, but is to have the ushers at the gates have like the little thermometer guns, like when you go to the doctor now, you like get a little whatever. And I mean, they could even make it simple, like get the color coordinated ones where if it flashes red, you got to go to the side. But like Aldo said, for whoever listens to the show, just don't be a dick. Just let them take your temperature.
Wear your Pinions and Ivy podcast mask too.
They're not like trying to like take a blood sample or like,
if you're worried about like your DNA getting stolen, you're being spied. Like,
then stay home.
You have a phone 24/7. You're like already being spied on. It's okay.
Just stay home. Like
my temperature, my rights.
But I think that's something. Well, actually, that video came out today. That lady was at the dentist, and then she wouldn't let him take the temperature. I could sue you. Fuck out of here.
No, you can't. Private businesses can tell you to go fuck yourself.
Premature. I talked to my attorney, which was a new move because normally you see that after the fact. But she's like, no.
I like that.
I can sue you.
Do you guys really think like a woman in those kind of
went to the dentist? Because I know that's what I do. Before I go to the dentist, I call my attorney.
Let's be honest. Do you think a woman in those kind of stretchy pants with that kind of like Karen purse has spoken to a lawyer since she filed for divorce from her second husband, trying to make sure that she doesn't lose all of her Beanie Babies she collected in the 90s because that's the investment of the future?
No,
like, seriously, that's not happening.
Lawyer Willie.
The guy that lives across the street and 2 doors over is a lawyer. He walked by, she said hi, and he's like, hey, like, and he kept walking, and she's like, I talked to a lawyer. Yeah.
So, excuse me. Thank you. He held the door open for me.
I think that's the only way this happens, though, is with like procedures like that in place.
Have to. You got to be a hard ass.
They have to be serious. You can't half-ass it. We've seen too much of that this year. Can't half-ass it.
Right.
If you're gonna do it right. Shit happens. Hey, it happened. As long as you give me like the pure effort, just don't half-ass. Cubs, Sox, whatever team, any team who's like going to try to have fans again. Cool. Owners, get your money because God knows you need it because apparently you're going to go broke. Just, actually take it seriously.
But you don't. And the thing is, this has nothing to do with the game on the field. We didn't really kind of touch that though too. The idea of like players that broke quarantine. Well, what team was it where the guy broke quarantine and they kind of like hammered on him for it? Because you got these veteran guys. Again, the Cubs are the only team that hasn't had a COVID positive, knock on wood. But you have these guys that are like, hey, now we're relying on everybody in the clubhouse to be responsible.
Right.
You have to be responsible now. Not just fans, but the players too. They can't. This is going to be the least cleat chasing groupie season of all time. Sorry to say that not to offend anybody, but there are cleat chasers and groupies in baseball.
It is what it is.
But they're going to be few and far between now. That fun is gone.
It's a good point. Last year, Joe Madden was like, you guys need to go out. Now it's the opposite. Now Cubs are perfect because they apparently never went out. So they're just keep doing
nerds. Nerds. The Cubs are all nerds now.
2 months, 3 months if you're good.
Books.
2 months, 3 months if you're good. You got to remember you're getting paid sometimes more money than some people will see in 10 years to play a game. Just be cool for 2 months, maybe 3. And I know it's easier said than done. And I know I could sit here and say, give me $5 million. I'll go sit there and go to a baseball game every day for 2 months. And I also understand that it's a profession. They work very hard at what they do. It's not an easy job. It's not as simple as they're playing a game. But I just be cool for 2 months, man.
And
actors in Hollywood, they isolate for 2 months.
Often we say how like sports can be like a microcosm of like, maybe society or like how life is. Yeah. Like this is a perfect example. Hey guy, it's like, like
that's a good point.
The Cubs like aren't the only team like sat down. It's like, hey, can't be just like fucking around here. This is serious because hey, if you fuck up, you're gonna fuck up my money. And at the simplest like just like point, it's that because like they care about their own health of their families and other people, but it's also hey, I'm not gonna fuck with your money. Don't fuck with my money. We're all in this together. If you fuck up, you fuck it up for everyone. And that's like a bigger thing for the whole country. It's not just you, it's everyone else around you.
Well, who was it? It was Sean Doolittle, right? Said sports is a reward to a functioning society. I think I butchered that, but it was something.
That sounded pretty good. So
it was the gist of that, but kind of nailed it. You know what I mean? Like, and I sit here and I say to the baseball players, be cool for 2 months. If a majority of Americans were cool for 2 months, we'd probably be out of this shit by now. So it's like,
probably, yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Let me just give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing too that you don't get. Like, I don't know how you guys have. So I know. I mean, obviously, you got a baby on the way, so you guys are probably kind of laying low. But I don't know, Aldo, you too. We have like a quarantine couple that we are friends with. There's 2 couples. We all quarantine basically together. Like we've been quarantined together. We like share with wherever we go basically with each other, other than like to the bathroom or whatever. And you can kind of like spend time with these people and be safe because everybody's following. We literally are contact tracing each other. Right. When you take that to like a clubhouse, you take that into an organization. You're an extension of not just your players in your clubhouse, but you're also the extension of their family. And so when you have, like, say, a player that has a wife, kids, you got like a John Lester or a Rizzo, right? John Lester's a perfect example, a guy that, and Rizzo too, that survived non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. How much are you willing to go to the mattresses to make sure that John Lester is never put at risk of actually physically coming down with something like this? Now, if you're his teammate, your family's going to have to sacrifice for that teammate as well. Your family's going to have to give up a little bit of that luxury for a second. It's a second. It's a couple months. We're not talking about a year of isolation, but you're saying, look, family, again, most of these kids are learning online right now too. Like the educational part's kind of a funny part because you say, what about my kid's education? Well, your kid shouldn't go back to school anyway. So you can have these families, you can isolate these families, you can put them in a place where they're happy, you can bubble them up. And if someone breaks the bubble, they're not affecting just, it's not like they're getting VD. They're not getting like herpes or like a cold sore, or they're not getting like crabs. They're getting something that could spread to everybody else with just a yell and a high five and a hug. It's not the same as going out and being with unclean, having a bad lifestyle, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right.
Whereas, so it really does affect the whole clubhouse. So like the idea of these young guys that came up through the league, they do want to go out and have some good time. They're younger. They want to go party. To have them hold back is going to create a really good generation of professionals too, I think, through this. I think that this is going to create some self-control and some restraint. And some of these guys are going to see that they perform better when they go to bed at 10 o'clock at night instead of hitting the clubs and coming back a little bit wishy at like 1 a.m, which in Chicago especially, it's very difficult to not go out.
Yeah. One more thing before we get into like some last minute predictions here. Breaking news. Earlier in the day, no, this is actually, I think, a good thing, even though there's not a lot of context here. Because
I think I know what you're going to say. I think I just saw the tweet.
You gotta love Twitter though, because when we can just talk about it for like 5 minutes.
Wilfred really wants to be in my picture.
Cubs minor leaguer. He's like top 5 prospect still, like maybe 5 or 6. Adbert Alzolay. He earlier in the day he tweeted out. He was like, "Hey guys, the taxi squad guys, we're only getting $18 a day. We have to give like half of that to the clubbies, and you know what? We still got to give them a tip after that too if they're pretty good guys. Which apparently whoever the clubbies are in South Bend, pretty good guys to the players over there.
Tip people, man. It's what you do.
Yeah, and minor leaguers, they're still making some money, but they're not making their full like year salaries this year because if MLB players aren't getting their full salaries,
right?
There is no minor league season. Minor leaguers aren't getting a minor league salary this year. They're just getting that like $400 a week stipend, and they're gonna start. They only get paid again until the season starts. But update 37 minutes ago, Edward Alzolay tweeted again, "We worked it out." So shaming works. Shaming works sometimes. Maybe it can be a pain in the ass if you see all these people complaining, but it's been working. Shaming people, shaming teams, shaming organizations.
As long as you have a legit, if you have a legit argument, which he did, and he worded it correctly. He worded it like he didn't sound whiny, and he also didn't sound aggressive. Like he worded it correctly, and
he was like, "This is our situation. This is how it is."
Not a lot of people look at the numbers that way, though. They just see whatever the PR, the press release says. So like they assume that this is all good. And it's like the NBA players in quarantine getting their terrible food.
But he got a huge show of support as soon as that first tweet went out. Everybody jumped. And I got to imagine somebody got in someone's ear right away and was like,
"It's bad optics."
It was worked out because I just went back and that original tweet was deleted. So they're probably like, "Hey, we'll pay you like a normal person."
Yeah.
Can you delete that?
Yeah, he definitely deleted the other tweet.
Shaming works. That's the lesson today. Shaming works.
It's rough though. It's bad optics for any of these teams to like underpay these guys at the taxi squad, which they're going to do because these owners have figured out that nobody gives you. They can figure out a way to turn the whole dialogue too. It's unfortunate, but a guy that's doing that shit at these kind of like, do I think it's a horrible life to like have to hang out near Schaumburg Stadium in Schaumburg? No, it's not horrible for the White Sox. South Bend, there's nothing to go, but it's still again. There's not much going on. You're not roughing it, but pay them, please.
So the other thing with the scrimmage games is we saw the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
From the @Twins Twitter account, the official team account, live stream for free their inter-squad scrimmage. And they did this cool thing where they had a quad box so you can like watch focus on the hitter, focus on the pitcher, watch the guys in the outfield. It was dope. And for me to say anything the Twins do is dope is very hard. And I quote tweeted it and said, like, hint, hint, White Sox, you should stream your scrimmages. People want to watch it. Because today, as the White Sox had, or on Thursday, when the White Sox had their inter-squad scrimmage, all of Sox, well, anyone that could during the day, Sox Twitter was hanging on every beat writer's tweets and videos that were coming out. And I'm pretty sure it was the same with the Cubs.
Yep.
For highlights and what the hell was going on. We've been craving sports so much, and there's a form of sports going on. I want to watch it. And it's just a cool thing you could do for the fans. And then I also had an idea, and I know a lot of people from the White Sox organization listen to our show, especially 50 minutes in, where they should invite some of the podcasters or bloggers from the White Sox Twitter or from on the Cubs side of things, Cubs Twitter, Cubs bloggers, whatever, because there's a lot of good ones on both sides of town. And just let us sit. I mean, I don't even need to be in the press box. Just let me sit in the outfield by myself and rip off some tweets. You know what I mean? That builds a better relationship between the organization and the blogging podcast community, which both teams already do pretty well compared to other teams in town. They do really well. Mm-hmm. The Blackhawks, the Bears, and the Bulls just don't give a shit about podcast or bloggers. So it builds a better relationship. It gives a different spin, you know, like a not buttoned up, you know what I mean? Like beat writers and stuff. We're very lucky in this town. We have good beat writers on both sides of town. You know, they make jokes, they keep it light, they do good. They're very good at their job. I honestly can say at this point in time, there's not one Sox writer where I'm like, fuck this guy. Because there used to be, like, there was always one. Definitely can't say that for the other teams.
Matt and Nuko.
The intern. Where's the intern tonight?
God damn, the intern.
Shout out Nuke.
I need a cup of coffee, please.
But they do a really good job. But I just think it'd be cool to have, like
there's so many opportunities.
Throw Beef Loaf in My Sox Summer and Treasy in the 108. And just let them just live tweet it. You know, there's
if it's not even that, it's like, all right, it's like, hey, we don't want to like expose, we don't want any cases. If you guys get anything when you go there, fine. Give like those two guys, give the guys from the 108, like give them like a live feed to the center field camera. Mm-hmm. And like you don't have to, I'm not saying like take like just fans like what they're saying and like broadcast it out like on Comcast. I'm not saying that. Like give them a live feed, and it's like if they want to like Periscope, like them, like just like having a shit, like doing an inter-squad game for like for an inning or two for their fans on Twitter.
Right.
How fucking awesome would that be?
Here's my question:
their Twitter account though, so they can speak freely. So if I could see La Pantera hit a fucking rocket to Mercedes, I could be like, "Oh shit, Fat Boy got up!" Like I could say whatever the hell I want to say.
Well, here's my question: are they credentialed during the regular season?
No blogger. Okay.
So here's the professional organization's point of that is that they can't control the narrative. They can't control what you say. If you are credentialed, if you have access to those types of things, they're going to want you to hold back on criticism of said franchise. That is 100% media flack that happens everywhere you go. So they're not going to give access to the people that actually are going to say, hey, you know, Harry Carey being able to say, this sucks. That day is dead. Optics are everything in this day and age. And they can equate that to like some sort of.
You dangle like a carrot. Like, all right, so the Sox email me, say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to let you sit on the first baseline. You tweet and video everything from your own account. You can say whatever you want. But they could say also something like, just know if this goes well, more credentials will follow during the season.
I'd say why not just place every person that has a certain amount of following, and you can actually socially distance them within the stadium to cover each game as well. You can place them in.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, you can have like one guy sitting in section 108, one guy sitting.
Right. Obviously, I can't go to every game, and that's fine. But the games I can make it to, I think that would be fucking sweet.
I mean, honestly,
not much to monitor.
I'm not even asking you that. Just like give me a fucking live feed. I don't need it. It can be muted.
Who did that today? They did the 3-camera shot.
Twins. That's what I thought. The Twins.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just like I don't care. Like I don't. Hey, like if you will just want to mute it because like you don't want like guys are gonna be talking shit on the field. You don't want that to slip out. Fine, I don't care. Have it muted. Just give me something. I don't care. Just give, you guys, there's like what MLS going on right now, and like soccer in Europe.
ABL.
There's shit else on TV, guys.
Baseball's fucked itself so much that they should let everybody experience this.
Just let me watch it. I wanted to watch Luis Robert bat in real time.
By the way,
5-second delay and mute or bleep out the swears if people cuss.
By the way, MLB TV still charging $60 for 60 games.
That's real. That's
doesn't get my refund
still,
either.
MLB TV still has blackouts. What's like MLB? Like, okay, we get it. You don't want to get any new fans, but
what do I do that I paid half that already with that first like spring training deal? I paid $30, I think already. I got no refund back. Nope, never got anything back. So
what else? It's like there's
that's unreal, dude.
I got it the day before we shut down.
Rough.
Yeah, I paid the first 20. Well, it was monthly, right? I'm like, I think I'll give it a shot for spring training, but live stream, whatever. And then you sent me the Marquee Network link. I went away from that, but I never canceled it, and I got that first bump, and then it was like $20 out of my account for a month of March, and I never got anything back because we shut down literally the next day or 2 days later.
Like all these things, it's like I mean, the Cubs obviously they're in Marquee, they have Marquee, and like they still don't have a fucking deal with Comcast. Again, opening day is 2 weeks away. But like, I mean, even with the Sox, like all their games now are going to be, most of their games are going to be on Comcast now, except for like one is going to be a nationally televised game. Like no matter what, the day of like watching the Sox or the Cubs on WGN or that other like the second sister station, those days are gone. Because no matter what, it might not be like exactly like Marquee. You still have to pay for cable to watch the Sox now. Like I think in total, it's like 3 games for the Cubs and Sox are going to be on free TV in Chicago for this season. At least give the fans who are paying for your shit, give them the center field camera. I'm not even asking for a second camera.
How much does it cost to turn on a streaming internet?
Just let me see the pitcher's throw and the guy swing. I don't even need to see where the ball goes. Just give me that.
It's not that hard either.
Right.
I question you guys too. Are you guys familiar? I just sent out a little message to you. Are you guys familiar with Byte? BYTE?
DYTE. No.
ITE. Byte. It's apparently the new Vine, which was really good for a while during its early days when it came to baseball pregame stuff.
TikTok, Kevin.
Well, it's by the guy that launched Vine. It's Dom Hoffman, the guy that created it. So apparently that's the new Vine. So I'm wondering if Byte, BYTE, will be the new thing this year as journalists kind of grab a hold of it. Are they going to be able to use Byte to stream?
TikTok was the new Vine.
Well, TikTok's going to get banned because Donald Trump doesn't like TikTokers because they like bought a bunch of tickets for Oklahoma.
No, TikTok's getting banned because someone did a reverse code on it and saw how much data the Chinese-based company is
Chinese. Absolutely. Wait,
it's already been banned in India because they already figured out how much.
I have no clue what Byte is, but it just reminds me of the streaming equivalent of Quibi.
It's no. Quibi is short film.
Quibi just put out some bad. Like 91. It said like 91% of the people didn't.
Quibi's dead.
Go after their free.
Quibi's got like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and no one knows what it is.
All right, let me look at this. BYTE.
It's Byte. I think entertainment media. It's the guy that created. It's Hoffman, the guy that created Vine, and it's the new Vine but it's not China. If you're just now learning that TikTok is China,
you got to be 17 or older to get it. Is there gonna be like?
That's why, because we're gonna not get creepy fucking teenagers taking pictures of and videos of.
Dude, I went on TikTok for like 5 minutes and I deleted it and wanted to get a new phone because that's a creepy ass app, dude.
I had students ask, Mr. Fither, get on TikTok. I went on TikTok for like 12 seconds because I'm like, oh, you can edit. It's great. Video editing. You're learning skills. And then I looked at it. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Delete. I used it for one little, like, I was playing cornhole, playing bags, and I used it for like a slow motion fake edit because I was on the fly. Mm-hmm. Which is good, but no, it's. I think the Byte's going to be like a US based. They're going to have to deal with, again, it's Vine. It's through that same group. They're going to have to deal with like actual like data sharing and stuff. So I think Byte's the new thing.
So
you heard it here on Pinwheels and Ivy. If Byte blows up, We all failed if we don't invest.
So the new feature here is that you can record up to 8 seconds.
Ooh, I don't know what that means, but that's good, right?
You can just record up to 8 seconds. That's the new feature.
But
That's
can't you edit them together in 8-second clips?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's Vine, but 2 more seconds.
There we go. And
sounds like that's exactly how Vine died because it didn't have anything new.
But and TikTok, but I think that's where the PR. That's where PR is moving. At least that's based on.
I'm Byte.
It jumped from number 210 in the social networking thing.
Do you have Byte on your phone right now, Kevin?
I do, and it went from.
You've done a Byte. What video is called? Bytes?
Before you joke,
dude, I'm on it now. I got it.
Before on July 5th, it was 210 in the U.S. App Store. Today, it's number 1 overall in less than 48 hours. So,
is that what you call it when you make a video? You call it a Byte?
I just do.
You definitely do.
I'm gonna post a Byte.
Yeah, you definitely like, bro. I'm posting a like, do something stupid.
I mean, TikTok. I'm posting a TikTok. I'm posting a Byte. I'm posting a Vine. It's easy. It's fun. It slides off the tongue. But yeah, this is actually an app.
Where the TikTok kids go because they're the ones controlling social media. So I don't know. I'll wait on the TikTok.
Dude, I'm on here and these people aren't over 17.
Byte canceled.
What are you watching?
No, I'm just Byte. Like this girl's like probably 15. She's singing. It's fine.
Guys,
I don't know.
How fucking hard it is to put yes, I'm over 17. Like what the fuck?
Right.
That always is hilarious when apps or websites like you must be whatever 10. It's like, oh,
okay. Are we getting some verification here?
I am.
It's like my Tinder page. Oh, I mean, what? Oh, I don't have one of those actually. Long time ago, I did.
All right, so here we go. 360 games over under. The highest WAR last year was Cody Bellinger when he was out on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 4.1 WAR.
Who's gonna be
under?
He was the only player. Mike Trout was second, 3.6 WAR. Fangraphs. Over under this through the end of this season, 60 games. 1.5 players to have a WAR, F-WAR, higher than 4. On the White Sox.
On the White Sox.
That's good. That's
yes, because I mean, come on, Zoe. Even as a Cubs fan, you look at that offense, you're like, shit. If like Luis Robert is the real deal, this guy's gonna be a fucking star. If Eloy keeps it going, if Yohan Moncada like it's just recovers from Rona, I mean their offense is fucking scary.
Yeah, I mean I'd say let's throw over under at 2 players.
Let's see. Last year, the highest Chicago player through 60 games, F4, was Javier Baez at 2.3.
Oh yeah, that's my question. By the way, is Javi gonna August and September swoon again?
I don't know. We have to see.
His career stats are terrible in August and September. Terrible, like 225, 230.
Yeah, but this is a weird season.
Yep. So he's gonna be able to pad those stats and really. But we didn't talk about this, by the way. Javi, the contract stuff, by the way. He actually said, because I know Chris said it's not appropriate to talk about contracts in this day and age or what's going on right now, blah, blah, blah. But I know that Javi had mentioned, he said it's frustrating, I think. Oh, God dang it, I lost it. Pull it up. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Javi, let me get his quote. He said that, all right, I lost it now. God.
I don't think he said it was kind of frustrating.
It's frustrating because you don't really want. So you got players that I mean, we have a lot of contracts. There's a lot of contracts for the Cubs right now. Like there's a lot. Like who wants to go into a contract year?
So this is one of the quotes from Jesse Rogers.
There we go.
Javier Baez on contract talks with Cubs. It's been really difficult with everything happening right now. We have communication. When this goes past, we're going to talk.
Chris has mentioned his contract. He wants to just retire a Cub, and he's willing to take
Javier Baez is hopeful his side and the Cubs can pick up contract talks, but understands baseball economics could be altered.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah.
So he's in there. Chris is in there. We got Schwarber. No, Schwarber's 1 year later, right? We got Lester in there.
You got to stop bringing up Lester, man. That's
he's. I mean, well, we'll see. He's
like
every
I'm saying like John Lester. If John Lester comes back, he's going to be making a lot less money than because he's a buyout. He's going to get $10 million, and then
Q coming back.
Who?
Q?
No, I probably not. Because injured.
There
That
you go.
sucked. Dishes.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone has
Sorry, Dad.
everyone has the greatest excuse now. It's like professional
Drones, hunting knives.
athletes can get hurt washing dishes, babe. I can't wash the dishes.
I'm going to say this. Like, okay, I'm a teacher, so we have a dishwasher. How do you cut your finger washing dishes?
Washing the dish. He didn't have a dishwasher. That's how, Kevin. He didn't have a dishwasher. He didn't use a dishwasher.
Isolated? Was he in a quarantine that had only like a sink?
I don't know. He was in his house in Florida. I don't know.
So his house in Florida has a dishwasher that you just don't put the dishes in after just rinsing them?
Maybe he's just a common man. He doesn't want to use a dishwasher. I don't use a dishwasher.
I'm not gonna. I'm wondering what kind of dishwasher he has, or does he have one?
Maybe he doesn't use a dishwasher. The thing was, he cut his finger washing the dishes. I don't think he was.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like that's bullshit. I'm gonna call it bullshit. But
I mean, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I have a dishwasher that I use, but I still got to rinse some stuff off. If it's got like crap on it, I got to rinse it before I put it in the dishwasher.
You got a knife in there.
Put your hand. Are you really rinsing a knife and rubbing your hand over a knife? Like,
yeah, dude, you got to rinse that shit. You got to rinse that shit.
Like, what do you put? No, you use a. Oh, Jesus. If he really did do that, that explains a lot. If he actually,
what does it explain?
Used his hands to clean off a blade.
I mean, do you not just use the sponge? I like how
the sponge, and you place the blade away from the sponge, so you don't cut the blade. Yeah, you don't cut the sponge. But that's not going to cut your hand if you're using the backside and washing from. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these players use those types of. I sprained my ankle down the stairs. They cover their ass with.
Sam supposed to sneeze too hard. Carry wood slip in a hot tub.
Yep. Sometimes
Derek
I hop a fence when I was drunk and I sprained my ankle.
I don't know if it was Derek Rose, Carlos Boozer. Somebody cut their hand slicing fruit in their bed. That was
doing.
No, Boozer got hurt jumping over
he tripped going down the stairs. Yeah,
gym bag thing.
So then it must have been somebody else cut their hand.
Matheny he was polishing his hunting knife or whatever. Jesus.
Yep. And then that one dude got with the drone.
Jesus. No.
The drone, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's just cut this here. If you stayed this long, athletes, we appreciate you. Next week,
Madison Bumgarner and his 4-wheeler or whatever.
Madison Bumgarner is a rodeo cowboy.
Right. So the next week, we need to know. Did
Jeff Kent? That was the bit. Remember Jeff Kent?
Jeff Kent. Yep.
He said he was washing his motorcycle or something.
He fell. He hurt himself. He rolled his motorcycle.
Didn't a pitcher on the Cardinals get hurt playing Guitar Hero? Anyways, yeah, he got carpal tunnel or something from.
So, what is the worst fake major league injury in history?
I mean, guys, if we want to go back to him, Brandon Morrow threw out his back putting on a pair of pants. So
true. What's the worst major league? What's the most embarrassing major league injury of all time? Before we get out of here, well, I know. I
think we covered it.
I mean, those are the major ones.
Sneezing too hard and throwing your back out. It's gotta suck for an athlete.
That's a weird one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the simple fact.
It hurts, by the way, at my age. I'm older than you guys, but it does hurt sometimes.
No, I get that, but I'm not
on your pants athlete.
Though.
Putting on your pants and throwing out your back sounds rough.
That's a next. Let's compile our favorite Q injury
until the next shutdown.
Until the next shutdown.
The next shutdown we'll do a draft of best worst sports injuries.
Don't worry, guys, because Bleacher Report did a top 25 on this.
What does it say? What's top 5?
This is from 2011. Hold on, I gotta get down to the top 5.
We'll ignore the last 9 years. So let's just go before the last 9 years. All right.
All right. Number 5, Steve Sparks. Apparently,
we did the Labrador head turn.
He tried to tear a phone book in half in front of a crowd.
I mean,
that's number 5. Wait.
Yeah, right.
Adam Eaton, number 4. Apparently, all Adam Eaton wanted to do was watch a movie and said while attempting to open the DVD wrapping with a knife, Eaton stabbed himself in the stomach.
What?
See, Kevin, MLB players are just terrible around knives.
No, they're dumb. They're dumb.
Number 3 is Marty Cordova.
Oh God, Marty, he's from Vegas.
Apparently, Cordova had some catching up to do when playing for the Baltimore Orioles in 2002. He accidentally fell asleep in a tanning bed, severely burning himself.
Mm-hmm. You know what happens? Your chest bubbles up. You get sunburn when you try and like flex.
Number 2 is Glenn Allen Hill.
Oh no!
Hill suffers from arachnophobia, so it comes as no surprise that Hill injured himself after a violent nightmare involving spiders. Hill managed to pop out of bed, fall through a glass table, and then tumble down the stairs, all while still asleep. Cuts sustained all over his legs and arms landed Hill on the 15-day DL.
Holy shit! How is that not number 1? What is number 1?
Like
number 1,
you lied big, or these are the greatest things that have ever happened in human history. I love this.
Number 1 is John Smoltz and Brian Anderson.
Oh,
in one of the funniest and dumbest movies imaginable. One of the funniest and dumbest moves imaginable. Smoltz attempted to iron his shirt while he was physically wearing it. Although Smoltz has always vehemently denied these claims, the iron-shaped burn mark on his chest gave it away.
Yeah. I mean,
At least Smoltz realized the iron was for his clothes. Unlike Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Brian Anderson, in an attempt to test if the iron was hot, Anderson pressed the hot iron to his face.
I think we just to his face.
Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. These are drunk stories that they recreated these. Brian Anderson got drunk, and someone said, "You won't do it," and he did it. And the next morning,
all right, we might have to do next week. We're going to talk about this list.
This is amazing.
Funny. Oh, Ken Griffey Jr. What?
Oh no! I mean, guys,
whoa. He just went.
While warming up before a game, Junior's protective cup slipped, pinching his testicle and forcing him to the. Oh my God, that would hurt.
That happens.
Yeah,
it does happen. Sorry.
Let me see if there's any. Yeah, here's the Guitar Hero guy, Joel Zamaya.
Oh, Zamaya, yeah.
Matt Matheny in there, or Matt Matheny with his Bowie knife?
I don't know. Ricky Henderson apparently fell asleep with an ice pack on his foot for hours, leading him to get frostbite in the middle of August, landing him on the DL.
I mean, these are fantastic.
Hey, guys, to be honest, these are literally excuses that people that over-partied give to their that actually matches what they did. There's real stories behind every single one.
There's no party story behind what John Smoltz did.
Well, I'll tell you right now. In the top 25,
but
number 25 and number 24 are both Cubs players.
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
25 we've already talked
about. Give me the name first, though.
25 Sosa, so that's Achu.
Oh.
And then 24 is Big Z.
Oh, the cramping. I forgot. Yep. He said, and this is hilarious, he said that he was emailing his brother in Venezuela too much. Quote unquote, emailing his brother.
After the team let Zambrano know he needed to cut back on his supposed 4 hours per day internet addiction, Zambrano released the following statement, quote, "I have to spend 1 hour and take it easy," end quote.
4 hours on the internet is called 1 day on Twitter.
No, I mean, and that's crazy because Big Z still was fucking crazy all the time. And this was after 4 hours a day on the internet. Imagine if he didn't spend all that time on the internet before doing whatever it was that he was doing.
Oh, this sounds painful. Kevin Mitchell.
Oh, Kevin Mitchell. Oh, go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's go some Met stuff. Here we go. And
on another occasion before the 1990 season, Mitchell was out a few days late to spring training because of a run-in with an over-microwave donut. Mitchell couldn't wait for it to cool off, so he burned the top of his mouth so bad that it led to him needing multiple root canals.
I mean, everyone clowned, and it's fine. Everyone clowned on Jose Quintana, but compared to some of these,
yep. This is more. I will tell you this, by the way, Chris Sabo used to work at McDonald's across the street from Red's camp while he worked. I'm not sure if any of his sausage McMuffin with eggs burned anybody's mouth.
On.
What do you got?
We might as well just stay on this rabbit
Yes,
hole.
no, keep going. This is too.
Rich Harden.
Oh my god.
Oh no, with the Cubs or with the A's?
2004.
Okay.
Seems like 4, so I think it's not.
He strained his shoulder rolling over in bed to turn off his alarm clock.
Oh, I mean, that's.
I mean, do you guys not love the snooze button? I would hit it with a fork.
Rich Harden is like the starting pitcher version of Brandon Morrow. Just great, but always hurt.
I was so pumped when they got him.
He was fucking awesome.
Here's another knife one.
Oh, that.
Odabe McDowell.
Odabe.
Oh, to be this be.
In 1987, while buttering a roll, he sliced his hand, and he sliced his hand so bad that from that day on, injuries with his hand continued to derail his career until it eventually ended.
Right. That's exactly how that played out.
Yep. Oh, wait.
Butter knives.
Another Cub. Steve Trout.
Oh, Steve Trout. Yeah.
He's too many Cubs in this list.
Steve Trout actually fell off a stationary exercise bike while with the Cubs, which landed him on the DL. And for the sake of Los Angeles, Jesus. Yep, there he is right there, not on stationary bike.
Left-hander.
We talked about that.
Where's Steve Trout?
Milton Bradley in 2007. Manager Bud Black ran out to first base to contain his fiery player, only to have Bradley slip and tear his ACL. Jesus.
I mean, honestly, good.
Yeah.
No, really,
fuck him.
Joel
Zamaya. That was in 2006 when he got inflammation of the wrist and forearm from playing too much Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero was a problem for Major League Baseball for a while.
So Fortnite was a problem in the NHL.
Fortnite's good, actually. That's what Chasen will only play online, by the way.
Terry Mulholland.
Not with the
No,
another Terry. Yep.
Mulholland's time with the Minnesota Twins was short-lived and didn't bring him much pleasure. While at a team hotel on a road trip, a feather was sticking out of Mulholland's pillow, which subsequently scratched his eyeball.
It happens. This is amazing. This is the best list I think I've.
Clarence Blethen? Blethen?
Do you want to type it in so I can spell it for you?
Blethen. Blethen, a pitcher who had dentures, and whenever he was on the mound, he would place those fake teeth in his back pocket in hopes that his grisly appearance would intimidate opposing hitters. That may seem convenient, that is, until he forgot to put them in, until he forgot to put them back in before batting the following frame. Blethen later slid into second base, only to feel the teeth biting him in his ass. That's a great
winner. One. Why is that not number 1?
That's number 13.
That's at least
going down or up?
I'm going down. This is number 11 because number 12 with Ken Griffey Jr. and his pinch nuts.
Shit's getting better than all right.
Mark Smith was best known for sticking his hand into an AC unit in an attempt to fix it. Of course, this broke his hand and sidelined him indefinitely. Ooh. Okay, come on. This has to be the most embarrassing one. Greg Harris. Harris, however, was just keeping to himself one sunny afternoon, flicking and spitting sunflower seeds. This strenuous activity led to a strained elbow bad enough to keep him on the DL.
You guys all know these are all bullshit. Like these are like legitimately like the PR person going, what can we explain this with? Like there maybe 1 or 2 are real, but this is bull.
Number 9 is Kevin Brown punching a wall and breaking 2 bones in his hand.
That's true. Actually, Padres, right?
Yep. Brett Barbary. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, Brett Barbary.
Yeah. While making chili one day, coincidentally in the midst of what for him was considered a hot streak, Barbary forgot to wash his hands before wiping his eyes. I think you can all figure what happens after that. After burning his eyes and ripping his contact lens, Barbary was forced out of the lineup for the Florida Marlins.
Rip contacts. He just didn't want to wear the Chris Sabo specials. That's all. Who doesn't have glasses though? Like, don't you have glasses if you have like contacts?
2 more, and then we're gonna wrap it up. In 1980, Seattle Mariners pitcher Rick Honeycutt was struggling on the mound. Instead of putting in some extra work in the bullpen, Honeycutt decided to tape a thumbtack to his finger to scruff up the ball. After an opposing player spotted the thumbtack, the umpires came out to the mound to find Honeycutt with a large cut across his brow. Apparently, Honeycutt accidentally wiped his forehead on an occasion or two. Lesson learned, karma's a bitch. So he had the thumbtack, and he oh my goodness.
That's a great story. That's cheater's justice right there.
I think what this list showed was like MLB pitchers get hurt a lot.
Yep.
And as you said, Kevin, like at least half of these are like bullshit reasons. But like a good portion of these are true, which is very confusing.
Weird shit does happen.
MLB pitchers kind of dumb. Is that what we learned from this list?
Yeah, the last one I just never knew. Fresh off a 38 home run, 124 RBI performance in 1998, Moises Alou was hoping to help the Astros make another run at the NL pennant in 1999. Alou fell off the treadmill in February, tearing his ACL, and was expected to miss most of the 99 season. Finally, nearing a return later in the year, Alou ran over his son on a bicycle to re-aggravate his injury, forcing him to miss the remainder of the season. What the fuck?
He also pissed on his hands to keep them callous.
That's not that uncommon, but
no, that's a great story actually. But that's Moist and Alou. That's our guy. That poor Bartman kid.
I think my favorite is the dude trying to rip a phone book in front of a crowd of people.
John, because it's the embarrassment. It's the getting hurt. It's like he was trying to be a fucking hardo, and he gets hurt like that one.
Yeah, he was flexing. And the flex actually is what pulled. Or perhaps the treadmill too. That's pretty.
But I mean, I have to say, John Smoltz, like, what was the iron shaped burn on his body? If it was him denying
that's the funniest one. It's the iron.
It's like he has to deny. He's like, no, I didn't iron while my shirt was on.
Yeah, but
here's the best part is. These guys are going to get old eventually. We're going to get the real story someday. So if these are fake stories, somebody's going to be like, oh, by the way, Smoltz especially. Smoltz is going to get lost on a broadcast sooner or later. But
dude, the guy testing to see if the iron was hot by putting it on his face.
When you said that, I'm like, oh, like, damn, he got like 3rd-degree burns or whatever on his hand. But when you said because he pressed it up against his face.
I mean, that's
life on the road, by the way, is predicated by the iron that your hotel room has with you, by the way. If you have a shitty iron, you can't make grilled cheese. You can't heat.
Right, but you can see if it's hot by just spitting on it a little bit, hearing the sizzle.
Well, that sounds dirty, so I don't know. I burned my finger on iron, so I guess I'm trying to defend myself, actually.
Oh, and Quintana's an idiot for cutting himself washing dishes, but you burn your fingers on irons.
Well, I was only coaching third the next day. I'm not a major league pitcher.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
It was good though. Like I waved around plenty.
I just saw your reply to Herb.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Kevin has an easy answer. So.
It's a
wait, what burn. Is it? Wait, hold on.
That's a deep burn. The question, and this is actually probably a good topic for next week because we're already an hour and a half deep on this thing, whatever this is. What was the most painful prospect trade to witness as a fan that you can remember? And Herb Lawrence replied with just a gif of Tatis Jr. And I replied, that's an easy answer.
Sean Garland? No, I'm just
kidding. Simeon.
Marcus Simeon.
Yeah, that's a tough one too.
Yeah, that's like an underrated one where you look after the fact because who was he traded for? Was that the Samardzija trade?
Yeah, that was the Samardzija trade. Yeah, and now Simeon's an all-star shortstop.
Oops.
Yes.
And Samardzija is somewhere bitching about owners and money. I think I don't know.
He's
I don't know. All right, let's put a ball on this bad boy.
I mean, that was a great finish to that.
Yeah, that was a really good finish. That list is strong.
So for Aldo, Kevin, I'm Zoe. Next week we'll preview the season, and we'll have a little bit more scrimmages to talk about. So hopefully, knock on wood, there's still baseball next week.
I think it's our best excuse to get cut or injured list.
Be good to each other. We'll talk to you.